Welcome back to GlassCast and WindowCast, the official podcast of the National Glass Association and its publications Glass Magazine and Window and Door. I'm Katie Devlin, the content director for the NGA, and I'm joined by my colleague Sarah Neiswanger, NGA's Associate Director of Industry Engagement.
Hi, Katie. Thanks. Today's episode continues our coverage from the recent BEC conference in Nashville. At this year's event, Tom Jackson, President and CEO of Utah-based Steel Encounters, returned to the stage to discuss the ever-important topic of employee engagement. So Tom first spoke at the BEC conference in 2018, where he offered 5 key takeaways for improved employee engagement. We've been talking about it ever since, and so this is why it's so exciting that he joined us again. But some of those key takeaways included, go to where your employees are, communicate with them, determine what their needs are and do your best to meet them, measure your employee engagement, and in general, just branding and reiterating your company culture for, company-wide adoption. So at this year's event, Tom returned to that topic to discuss what has changed in the last 6 years. Obviously the pandemic happened during that time frame and really altered the way we all do business.
I really appreciated that about Tom's talk. He framed it from the start about, what do we need to consider today in terms of employee engagement post-pandemic? Concerns for safety have been elevated. Remote work, of course, has changed the way many companies function. And then employee motivation has changed. Many workers want different things from their employees. And frankly, they'll leave in search of it if their needs aren't being met at their current employer.
Yeah, so during his talk, Tom offered some updated strategies based on what we just mentioned. So now upfront setting your cultural expectations, communicate and do it so with consistency and regularity. A new one, teach every employee the business, from the metric side so that they can appreciate what they're doing at the company, how it fits into the whole and what it means for the bottom line. Have fun together and recognize good work being done. And finally, just accountability across the board.
So, Tom's presentation covered all of those factors, but he focused on teaching every employee business. What does that mean? And that's what we're going to share in this podcast. I found this section to be pretty riveting. And I will note that Tom, throughout the talk, he's pointing to a few metrics and data from Steel Encounters. He's got data visualization, just a lot of interesting charts to look at. So if you are able, you may want to listen to this or watch this on YouTube. We've got the podcast there as a vlog up there. But he does explain the charts that you're going to see. So the podcast through audio only will be fine too. So with that intro, I'll let Tom take it away with his new top takeaways on employee engagement through the use of education and metrics.
Teaching business and best practices to everyone, and I mean everyone. What does your company do, and how does it make money? This begins on day one at Steel Encounters with our employee orientation. We use a simple term to teach financial thinking with a pot of gold analogy that we share with our employees. The pot of gold is the pool of money that is left over after all project costs, divisional overheads, and our administrative G&A expenses are paid. We talk about this number all the time, and we've set 3 levels of success as a percentage of our overall revenue. 6% is bronze, 7% is silver, 8% or better is our gold standard. From this pot of gold, we set metrics for discretionary and contractual bonuses, our retirement benefit, and our retained earnings. So how do we teach everyone how to make money? Remember that pot of gold analogy that I talked about? Let's use this opportunity to teach our craftspeople how to make money. I'll start with the glazer example. This is a $15 sausage of Dow 795 Stellacone. For simplicity, I'm going to use the 6% pot of gold figure. We need a $250 business opportunity to replace the profit of one wasted silicone sausage. That makes it relatable to the guys in the field. Let's go to a foreman example. A typical JLG 860, $600 a day cost. Anybody guess what the business opportunity lost is for one day of that sitting idle? $10,000. If your employees know your financial goals and how they are impacted, they will become more interested in helping you achieve the bottom line. In 2022, we began a major initiative to teach business-driven decision-making or data-driven decision-making to our managers. These are the significant department managers it still encounters. I want managers to understand the business of their department and how it affects the overall company. The goal is to teach them to identify what needs to be measured, interpret their department data trends, and set prescriptive goals for improvement. Every month, these department managers send me a written report for accountability. I have somebody collects it. I know when they're on time and when they're not. And they're really good. They get them to me on time. Attached to their department report are their key metrics for their overall department performance. And as a development opportunity, each of them makes a department status presentation to their peers and to the executive team every 3 months. Their confidence level in doing this has shot off the charts. They relish this opportunity to tell the executive team what's going on in their department and what they're successful at. The impact of this initiative has been astonishing, and I will share a few of their metrics with you. This is from my HR manager. Each vertical bar represents the 12-month rolling average for voluntary employee retention. The blue arrow shows me the overall trending improvements and proves that our retention strategies are working. We measure 3 levels of success: bronze at 85%, silver at 87.5%, and gold at 90%. You can see that in 2023, we moved the 12-month rolling average a full 3 points, and I expect it to continue improving with the recent changes to our retirement benefit and 7-year sabbatical that we are just offering to our employees now, a 1-month sabbatical after 7 years to refresh. This is part of this year's strategic plan, people section. This is our IT manager's monthly measurement of employee cybersecurity risk scores. The downward trending red line proves that our monthly cybersecurity training is reducing risks. And by the way, protecting our data is so important to me that these metrics are shown to our employees at every quarterly meeting. We also begin every board meeting with a cybersecurity report from our IT manager. That's what I consider one of the biggest risks that can happen to our company is a threat to our data. This graph is an actual example of how our structural operations manager is using data to drive results. The plot points are the average days aging for submitted change orders. As you can see, the first 5 months of 2023, our change order aging was in 175 to 190 day average range. Then our manager implemented several strategies to close change orders. He set a prescriptive metric goal to drive the average aging of outstanding submitted change orders below 75 days. That's the red line that you see there. And he has accomplished this goal every month since August last year. And by the way, in the architectural division, the 2 change order aging reports that are most interesting to me are the outstanding change orders that we've submitted. Aging change orders are money. And the most onerous of all, the time and material changes that you're forced to proceed with on a NTT basis, where we're financing the job for our customer. That's the one that I really pay attention to the most in aging of change orders, because we've already spent the money when I see the costs coming in. His strategy, and I'm talking about the operations manager for our structural division, his strategy is turn change orders into cash. These vertical bars represent the average change order percentage of gross profitability by month. The red horizontal line represents his prescriptive goal of reaching a 15% gross margin. He accomplished the goal in 8 of the 12 months of 2023, 7 of the last 8. You know how excited and proud he is to share that with us, with me in his monthly report and in those metrics meetings? It's astonishing. People light up when they are sharing their success, and they're acknowledged by the executive team. Okay. Create a business game that pays for itself. We got this idea from the great game of business. In 2021, our structural estimating and detail errors were excessively high, hurting our reputation and impacting our profitability. You can see that on the far left bar. Our manager created a game for our structural detailers and estimators based on this book. The key is that the game must pay for itself by error reductions and increased efficiencies. 3 games are played, each 4 months long, throughout the year, and participants can earn an additional $2,000 cash. 2022 was the first year of this program. The savings impact was over $300,000, despite completing an extra 64% of revenue. That's getting the team on board with the overall goals of the company. I'm so proud of our guys, of our team. I could just burst. It's awesome to have this opportunity to tell you what they're doing. This is a sample of a Power BI accounts receivable dashboard. I won't share my dashboard with you, but I use mine to access live financial data on my phone and my laptop regularly, including this morning, my review of our outstanding receivables and aging report. Our operations and accounting team use this data to collaborate on strategies and set goals for the collection of our receivables. What's holding it up? Why are we 90 days? What can we do to turn this around? It's more than just the accounting team collecting the money. It's your project management and your operations team helping them. We have seen considerable improvement in our monthly collections over the last year. This is a vulnerable metric for me, but I believe this metric is an excellent example of the measurement of safety engagement. This is a historical measurement of 4 distinctive time periods in Still Encounters history, beginning in 2004, when we formed our first safety committee. The vertical bars represent total hours worked each year, and the red line plots are OSHA recordables for the last 20 years. You can see that the trends for OSHA recordables have dropped significantly since 2016, and I attribute this to the improvement of the engagement of our safety committee. Our safety committee is made up of regular shop and field craft workers, not foremen. And this is an opportunity for them, for their growth and development, and to be seen by the executive team. They come in and they meet with the executive team and our safety manager on a monthly business. And this is how we know how the safety is going on our jobs. Clicked it twice, we're okay. The chart on the left represents the year-end performance scorecards of the 8 individuals that are in our shop and field that are our safety reps. The scorecards are tied to their year-end bonus program, and I am proud to say these men and women, looking at their scores, which even that yellow one is quite good, 5 is a perfect score. Most of them are at 4.5 to 4.75, and that was the first year we put it in place. And when we started tracking it, the first month was a little lower, and all of a sudden they accelerated. I believe this is a successful testing of Pearson's Law. When performance is measured, performance improves. When performance is measured and reported back, the rate of improvement accelerates. I'm really proud of them. Have I said that before?
And that wraps up our episode for today. Thank you to Tom Jackson for returning to the BEC conference. Make sure again you subscribe to GlassCast and WindowCast, and we will be back soon with our next episode from the BEC 2024.
Thanks so much for tuning in. For all resources and updates from the National Glass Association, you can visit glass.org. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you next time.